What up, guys? Jason, Flowpack RC. Got the $100, 100-mile-per-hour car coming along. So there's a couple things that's gone on with this car. I've had to figure it out. And that's why a lot of people, I've had 6 messages in the last 2 days. Jason, hurry up. I want to order these parts and get this thing going. There's been some trial and tribulation with this car, guys. Basically, the 49 tooth spur gear, obviously, if you've seen the last video, it's not going to work. The meshing will never line up. You would need like a 60 tooth pinion gear. That's just not going to work because it's going to overheat your system and it's just not going to work. So we're going to get rid of that. Now, to do that, there's 14 screws on this top plate. They use a 2mm hex driver. 2mm hex driver, pull them all out. 14 of them, guys. They're small screws, so keep track of them. Then what you're going to do is you're going to lift this plate off. You're going to pull it out, or scoot it to the side, and then pull it out underneath the belts. I'm trying to do this one-handed. Get that off, get it off to the side. By the way, that was upside down. Those marks right there go down towards the bearing. Then you're going to take your little spool right here and you're going to turn it sideways. The bearing just fell out. So you're going to take your 2 bearings that go on each side. Then you're going to go up into your bathroom and you're going to get your wife's nicest pair of tweezers that she has. The most expensive, nicest tweezers that she has. Alright? Tweezers. This is how I do it. I find it to be the easiest way. So on this spool piece, let me focus in. There's an E-clip there. Tweezers, put inside the 2 holes, push down, it'll come out. Just kidding. Don't use your wife's tweezers. Go buy some cheapies. So, alright, cool. Got the E-clip off. Alright. Now what you're going to do, use the tweezers or whatever and pull that pulley up. It's going to come off. And then there's this little pin inside here. Well, the spur gear wasn't tightened down, but there's a pin that goes inside there. And then the pulley sits on top of that, guys. So the back of the pulley looks like that. And either way, go on there. Now, I did look into it, and the X-ray pulleys do fit on this. I'll start messing with that kind of stuff later as we get going, but for right now, this is all we need. So, it's down to bare bones. I went ahead and ordered a Robertson Racing 66 tooth spur gear. And the part number is, let's see, right there. RRP 1866, 66 tooth. Pro spur. So the other one was a machined spur. And the difference between the two is, let me get this off here, show you. Here's the 49 tooth, the very first one. Here's the other one. The holes don't line up, guys. 2 of the holes do. But for some reason, when I go to try to put it on here, it will not line up for nothing. Let's see if I can get 2 holes to line up. Let me see if I can get this to focus a little better. There we go. So, I could not get any 2 holes to line up at all for nothing. I don't know what's going on here. It wouldn't work. Almost right there. So I started looking into it and I went to Team CSO and I bought this spool piece here. See if I can focus on that. Aluminum spur gear adapter, 1 piece. And you guys can find these everywhere. I actually only paid $7 for this thing. But look up aluminum spur adapter for a touring car. And it came with this. Basically the exact same thing as this. It's the same size. Everything's the same on it, guys. And guess what? 2 of the holes do line up. Let's see if I can get it to line up first before I pop it in there. Let's see. Right there. Straight across from each other. 2 holes do line up. Pop that in. And I can put 2 screws in there. That's what I'm going to do real quick. these screws, guys, are tiny. You don't need to snug them down super, super hard, all right? Because you will strip the aluminum spool gear. I already stripped one hole on this one, actually. So, I got that on there. Now, it came with this piece here. And I don't know how that's going to work now that I'm using the 2 screws. So, I'm going to try to go without it. See what happens. Might have to put a spacer in there or something, but we'll see. Alright guys, so I'm going to put the pin back in here. I'm going to use the tweezers, the most expensive tweezers you can find out of your wife's drawer. She's in the room. Mute the video for a minute, or mute that part of the video. Alright, so I got it started. It's very hard to get in there. This one's a little tighter than the stock one, which is good because I guess it won't fall out. Now I'm going to take my Pulley Gear. Now put it on there. It's hitting those screws though, so I don't think, unless, is it all the way down? No, it can't be. Yeah, I guess so. Guess it's all the way down. I don't like that spacer not being there. This one here. So I want to make sure it sits fully in there. It's touching the heads of those screws. We're just going to run with it. We're going to run with it and see what happens, guys. Hopefully that E-clip will still go on there. Now for putting the E-clip back on, I just use some needle nose. I set it on there like that. I grab it with the corner of the needle nose. And I try my best not to smush my finger. Has happened before though. And if you've done this before, you know. Pain. You know what? I need some better needle nose. Sharper needle nose. Alright. There we go. So it's in there. E-clip's in there. Let me take off the E-clip from the other side of this one. Like I said, best tweezers you can find. Shove them in there and skirt that thing out of there. So we got it out now. We're going to pop this other pulley off. Take this other pin out. Pin's out. Going to put the pin inside this one. It's a little tighter inside this one than the other one, so that's good. We're going to snap this on. And then we're going to pop that E-clip back on there, guys. And I think we're going to be golden. I think that's the trick. We'll see right now when we slap it in there. But now I have a 66 tooth and a new spur adapter. This is the old one. I don't know why the holes weren't lining up, guys. It lined up perfect for this one, but this was the pro machined spur gear. Lined up perfect. So something between the pro machined and or the machine spur and the pro spur, there's a difference there. I don't know what it is. I was actually looking to see if they came in different sizes for the holes, and I couldn't find anything anywhere. Seems like these touring cars, not a lot of companies cater to them. So, all right, we're going to put the bearings back on, and we'll grease it all up later and everything and get it perfect. But for now, let's scoot this over so I can work on it. We're going to put the belts onto it. Actually, I like to start. These bearings are a pain. They want to fall off too easy. Put that one on first. Then we'll go over to this one. And it's going to take some finagling to get it on there, guys. Turn it sideways like that, and then turn it back just like that. Now, if you can see, lighting's not good, I know. Just by spinning it, everything spins nice and smooth. So that's going to work just fine, guys. Take the top plate, black pieces, bearing side down. That's what holds your bearings into place. You're just going to put it in from the side. Put it in there like that. We're going to grab a couple of these screws, put them in here, just to hold it into place. I won't put them all in, just enough to make sure this thing's not going to come flying out at us. Put one more in there. Alright, so that's good enough for right now, guys. Just to make sure this thing's not going to come out. Now, if you see, everything's moving real smooth. One thing I did like about this car, it's got aluminum hubs on it, guys. Or, you know, 12mm hubs. It's really a clean car. It really is. I'm surprised about the aluminum shocks and stuff, but enough of that right now. Actually, this is one part that has been driving me crazy. Is these aluminum hubs, they come off so easy. As soon as you change out a pair of tires, it's going to be inside the old tires, guys. But hey, they're aluminum. Those are nice, man. I'm glad that they didn't skimp with that at all. So aluminum shocks. It's a really nice car for $100. I'm still really shocked. The only thing I don't like is on the sticker sheet they give you. This kind of scared me when you see this. Airborne. We don't want this thing to go airborne, guys. I don't know why they did that, but that one will not be going on the car. So, and it also came with all the camber adjustments if you wanted to change your camber. But I looked at it and everything's pretty straight right now, as far as toe and camber and everything. So I don't know if that's how they're supposed to be. They're all adjustable. But for now, we'll see how it does. Alright, so next thing I wanted to talk about. We got the gear in there. We'll slap the motor in a minute. I was going to use a Castle 4600 and I was going to use a Mamba Monster. But after thinking about it, I thought, you know what? What's the most common motor that everybody has or has access to for cheap? And it came down to the TRAXXAS Volinium system. Everybody has one or knows somebody that has one that's selling one. Or if you just wanted to go buy one on the cheap, you can go to somewhere like Jenny's RC or somewhere, or on eBay, and you can find them for $100. Motor and ESC. Now let me find mine. Somewhere in all these motors. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. Come on. Where'd this thing go? None of these are. Those aren't it. Let's see. Oh, is that it? No, that's not it either. I thought it was that one, but that's not it either. Let's see here. It's in one of these containers, guys. I know I have one. Aha. Found it. Volinium. And ESC. Let me find that ESC somewhere. Man, you know what? I don't know what happened to it, guys. It just disappeared. Found it in my Fortec. Give me 1 second. Alright, guys, we're back. We're going to throw this in here now. Might give it a little weight to the side, but it'll be alright. Just joking with you guys. Had that motor and I've never once ran it. Bought it like 8 months ago and never got a chance to run it because I wanted to be the first and I wasn't the first. So look, you guys, I'm doing this for this competition to see if I can get 100 miles per hour for $250 or less, and I'm trying to make it as less as possible. So Volinium is a good system. It's proven over 100 miles per hour multiple times, guys. You can go get a Castle system. Castle 5700 or 4600, that's what this was. And if you guys would rather do that, put in the comments that you'd rather go Castle. Yeah, I was just thinking a system for $100. You can get that also for $100. But if you wanted to splurge a little bit and go get you like a TP motor, TP motor or a new motor, then do that. I originally, for the other car, I was going to do this. I ended up picking this real cheap. 4.5 turn SC4X. They're great motors, and I even got 8mm bullets. It's never been ran. I was going to do this on the TC4 build because I found this on an auction for dirt cheap. But again, just because I find it on an auction for dirt cheap don't mean you can. Matter of fact, with that TC4, after I posted the video, I went back on there and I couldn't find one TC4 for under 150 bucks used. So that wasn't going to work, guys. So Millennium systems, I know for a fact you can get them for 100 bucks all day long. This one I did put 6.5 millimeter TRAXXAS connectors on it and on the ESC, and then I have 8 millimeter bullets on the power cord. This is the VXL 3S that came on the Fortec. It's not the censored model. Some of them have a sensor port in the front. So we're going to throw this on there. You don't have to run the 6.5s, guys. You can run the bullets that it comes with if you want. It'll still get you to 100 miles per hour. I've done it with all these. These are all just different generation motors. You know, the lighter color, the darker. But Millennium is what I plan on doing it with. Like I said, it's a proven system, and it'll look real clean on there. And it's small. It's a small little system, so fit it on there. I mean, we could go crazy with that big old motor and throw an XLX2 on there, and you know, it would probably honestly fit, man. You can get it to fit under the body, but that's just stupid. You don't need all that. So, let's slap this motor on real quick and make sure the gear mesh is going to work out, because I don't think it will. I bought this ProTech 41 tooth pinion gear. It's 48 pitch, 41 tooth. Let's see, there. We'll see though. I don't know. But let's get this motor installed. See what happens, guys. So I got the Millennium system first motor here. In order to get this on, I noticed you have to take 3 screws or 2 screws out of the bottom of the chassis right here to remove this part of the battery tray, or else you can't get to the holes right here. Also, I got to take that spur gear back out. So just a second ago, I paused it and I took it all apart. That way you guys don't have to sit there and watch it. Tighten that up so that way it sits farther off to the side. There. Now we can get to all the screws almost once I pull this up. While this is sitting, put some flow juice on it. A drop or two. There we go. We'll let that sit on there for a few minutes while we're doing this. So on the Millennium system, guys, one thing I did notice is the shaft on the Millennium system is longer than like a Castle or something like that. So I went out to the bench grinder and I just grinded it down a little bit. Let's throw that bad boy on real quick. Trying to get that screw, these screws in here with that battery tray is nearly impossible, guys. It's a pain in the ass. Just trying to get the screws on, period, is a pain in the ass. Oops. Turn it up the right way. Turn it like that. Alright, guys. So I'm just tightening the front screw, and I'm not going to do it real tight. I still want it to be able to move. So that way I can put gear mesh, make it perfect. Let's take this other screw real quick, and let's put it in there. Alright, that one we're not going to do very tight either, so that way the motor, guys, can slide back and forth. Alright. Let's get this focused in. There we go. So, the 41 tooth gear, where did it go? Right here. We're going to throw these back on now. Should be nice and lubed up. And I'm not even going to put the belts on right now. Move those out of the way. That way we can just get our gear meshing. We don't need to worry about the belt. But oh, look at that now, watch. Just from a couple drops, guys, I'm telling you. And the more you work it into those bearings, the better it'll be. Flow juice. You can get it today for the low, low price of I think it's 15 bucks. Flow Pack RC. So, put this gear on here. Move it all the way to the back. You know what? I don't know if that's going to work, guys. These aren't Mod 1 gears. Shouldn't be any wobbling going on. But the old grandpa trick is take a piece of paper, thin paper, put it in between the gears, and snug it down. Tight as it'll go. Let's see how tight I can get this thing. Alright, so that one's tight. I don't know if it's tight enough. I mean, there's a little crinkle there, but it might be alright. Just don't want to take any chances with this because it's plastic and aluminum gears. So, and the mesh is real hard with these ProTech gears because, I'll show you, they're beveled on the ends. Let me see if I can get this better. Anyways, the ends are rounded. They bevel around, so it's hard to see your gear mesh with them. There we go. Maybe you can see now. See that? How they're beveled? It's really hard to see the gear mesh with it beveled like that. So what I'm going to do is, I'm eventually just going to get a 42 tooth. I don't know if that's going to fit. But for now, I found a Robinson Racing 43 tooth. It has a 5mm hole. This one, the ProTech, has a 3mm hole. So I have to use an adapter. 5 to 1/8 adapter is what they call it. Or 1/8 to 3mm or something like that. But you can look it up under pinion gear adapters. And we're going to throw this big old sucker in there right now. And see how good it does. I think mesh will be no problem now, guys. It'll be a thing of the past. Oh yeah. Let's tighten this bad boy up real quick. The grub screw on it. Just see. Oh yeah, that's going to be perfect. Alright, let me take the scrub screw off real quick. We're going to put it in there, get the gear lined up. Get that piece of paper back in there. You want to put the paper in between the gears. Man, I don't know why my camera keeps going out of focus, but we're going to put this in between the gears. With 48 pitch, you want to do this. Mod 1 and 32 pitch is different, guys, but we're going to squeeze it as tight as we can in there. Real tight. Just like that. And then we're going to hold that motor into place. Take the pinion gear off. We're going to tighten it down. Then, hopefully, pop this bad boy back out so I can tighten that rear screw. Now, it's all bolted up. So we can start putting it back together. I don't know why X-Ray or Blaze or whoever made this made it to where you have to take the battery tray apart to put the pinions on. I kind of think that's a little retarded, in my opinion. I don't see why you would want to do that. It just makes it a pain for everybody. But $100 car, you really can't complain too much, can you? Alright, so that's in there. Make sure it's not on the pulley in the front here. Get that back on there. There we go. So that's all in there, correct? Spins. Man, I don't know why this thing's falling out of focus. I'm sorry, guys. So, everything's smooth. You cannot put this back on before you put your pinion gear back on. Hopefully the mesh and everything's perfect now. Matter of fact, I'm going to have to take that back out again to put it back on. Yeah, it's just kind of screwy the way they did this. Let's tighten this back down. We'll move it this way so that way when this is back on, we know where to put it. Alright, guys. That's on and that's tight. So, let's go ahead and assemble this bad boy now. Put this back on there. Got them lubed up so they're good to go. Let's put, I always start with the back one. That's what makes it easier. So the back's on. I'm going to turn it sideways. I'm going to put the front one on. And we'll just muscle it into place. And then spin it a couple times, make sure everything's on. Good deal. The Millennium motor is installed, gentlemen. Paper, let's see how tight it is. Should be able to chew into there and then be super tight. Yep. If it's doing that, you know you did it right. So, with the gear mesh all hooked up, we can throw this back on now. I don't know how this is going to fit in there. Oh, right in front of the motor. There we go. I'm just going to throw 2 or 3 screws in here, guys, just to hold it into place. So we got a 66 tooth and a 43 tooth. No doubt in my mind, this thing's a 100-mile-per-hour car the way it sits. No doubt. We'll get to the diffs and stuff like that another day. But just throw 2 in there now for it don't fall apart. Man, it's so smooth though. Everything's smooth. The gear, I was afraid it wasn't going to clear right there, but it actually cleared perfect. There's a perfect amount of space on each side of it and right here. So really happy with that. We'll get the ESC to sit in here real pretty, just like that. And let's move on to the wheels real quick, guys. This will be another day. We'll fire this thing all up and get it going. Wheels. The Gone Banana wheels, I was going to use them. Then I thought about it. I'm trying to keep this build over under $250, and I'm trying to use everything you can use. So, well, I'm not going to use them. If you're not going to use them, I'm not going to use them. Contact tires. Front and back cost me $14. These are 26 millimeter 37 Shore foam tires made by Contact. The rear are 30 millimeter 37 Shore, and you can get a 35 Shore or a 32 or whatever you want. Me personally, I like the 37s. I already put the stickers on the other ones, so in a minute I'll put the other stickers on here. But I wanted to show you something I noticed. The Gone Banana foams popped right on here. When you go to put the Contact foams on, they rub. It rubs on the hub right there. Oh, just lost both my bearings. Rubs on the hub. So what are we going to do to fix that? I don't know where this bearing came from. Oh, great. It's just falling out from each side. That's not good. We'll fix that later. Probably because I didn't tighten this down. The bearing on this side fell down. So, like I said about these aluminum hexes, they just keep falling off. What I decided to do is, and you guys can do the same, it's rubbing right here on the top of that ball joint. Instead of sanding that down and messing with the car, all you got to do is take a washer, just like this, put it on there. What that's going to do is bring the tire out away from it a little bit. Now, smooth as butter. We'll throw that bad boy on there. We'll do the same to the other side. Take a little washer. Put it on there. All that's doing is bringing it out like 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters at most. And now it's not rubbing at all. So, and I haven't messed with the rear diff in this thing yet, guys. We'll get to that another day. Let me clean up this little bit of flow juice I had here. Now the rears are on. They're not rubbing on anything. That sound you heard was the belts. These, smooth as butter. The fronts, no need for that. It does not rub anywhere. Let me show you. The fronts do not rub anywhere. It's nice and tight in there. So, you can put a washer if you want to make it equal, but you don't need it. So let's throw this one on. And I just lost one of the hubs real quick. Let me throw that on real quick. throw this one on. Tighten them down. Boom. There's our car. First part of setup. Got the contact foams front and back. It's not rubbing on anything. Maybe. No, that's just the gear mesh. Sorry, I forgot to tighten down this wheel. Alright, there we go. Now, nice and smooth, guys. We'll get this ESC fired up in there. We'll mess with the rear diff and the shocks and get your ride height and everything. And then we'll be golden, guys. This thing will be ready to go. I plan on fiberglass in the body, so I'll make a video of that. Get a video of it firing up. Doing the diffs and the front shocks and rear shocks. And we'll get this thing going, guys. So, remember, Robertson Racing 66 tooth and a 42 tooth, just to be sure. The 41, it was fitting, but, you know, you don't want to strip out these plastic gears, especially with the way that these Robertson Racings are getting hard to find. So, go ahead and get you a 42 tooth or bigger. If you want to go 43, 45, whatever. I'm going to start low, and 43, which isn't low by any means, but I'm going to start low. It's not 1-to-1, but I'll start low, and then we'll move up from there, guys. I think this thing's got huge potential, man. It's really going to do good, I think. Not bad. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for all my subscribers. Give me a couple days. We'll get the rest of this build going. And like I said, we'll set everything up. God bless you guys. I'm out. Peace.